Salutations, second graders, and welcome to Bible Lesson 10 on our mobile learning platform. Today we're going to be talking about Jesus is Risen. It's the last of our Easter series in Bible. Here we go. Okay, friends, here's the Bible truth. The Lord was dead, and Jesus' followers were very sad. Tearfully, Mary Magdalene and some of her friends went to Jesus' tomb early on Sunday morning to finish wrapping Jesus' body in spices and strips of cloth, a custom for Jewish burials. Right away, the women could see that the large stone that had covered the entrance to the tomb was rolled back. They went into the tomb, but they didn't see the body of Jesus. While they were wondering what could have happened to the Lord's body, angels dressed in shining white clothing appeared to them. The women were frightened. "Why are you looking for a living person in a tomb?" the angel asked. "He is not here, but he is risen. Remember that he told you that he had to be arrested, crucified, and on the third day rise again?" Then the women did remember. At once, they ran to tell the disciples that Jesus was alive. After hearing what the women had to say, Peter ran to the tomb. He went inside and saw the strips of linen that had covered Jesus' body in the tomb. But Jesus was not there. Where could he be? Peter wondered. Could he really be alive? Mary Magdalene let me start that part again, guys. Mary Magdalene was still very upset. She met a man standing in the garden near the empty tomb. It was Jesus, but she didn't recognize him. The man asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" Mary replied, "Because someone has taken away the body of my Lord, and I don't know where he is." Then Jesus said, "Mary." At that moment, Mary recognized him. Jesus was alive. Later that day, two men who were followers of Jesus were walking to a village called Emmaus. While they talked about all the things that had happened to Jesus, a third man caught up to them and began to walk with them. The two followers of Jesus didn't know it, but they were walking with Jesus. They didn't recognize him. Jesus joined the men for supper that night. At the supper table, Jesus said a prayer and blessed the food. All at once, they recognized Jesus. He was alive. The two men ran back to Jerusalem, where they found the disciples and shared the wonderful news. As they were sharing, Jesus himself appeared. He showed the disciples that he really was alive. In the days that followed, Jesus appeared many times, comforting and encouraging the believers. At one of these times, over 500 people saw Jesus with their own eyes. Jesus told the disciples to spread the good news to all the people in the world. He wanted everyone to know that he had taken the punishment for their sins by dying on the cross. If they believed in him, they would be able to live with him in heaven forever. So, boys and girls, what did Mary Magdalene and the other women notice when they went to Jesus' tomb to finish wrapping his body in spices and cloth strips? What did they notice? Look at the picture. That the stone was rolled away. Very good. And as they were wondering what could have happened, angels appeared. An angel reminded the women that Jesus said he would rise from the dead. Boys and girls, how do you think that you would react to having angels appear and tell you something so great like that? Lola. Maybe you would be afraid. Maybe you would be amazed, right? The women remembered what Jesus had said. They ran to tell the disciples that Jesus was alive. So let's remember, boys and girls, thinking all the things we've talked about these last 2 weeks of mobile learning. before Jesus rode in on his triumphal journey, who did he raise from the dead? He raised Lazarus from the dead, right? Because God is all powerful and he's the only being that can do that, bring people from the dead. So Peter ran to the tomb and saw that Jesus was not there. Jesus appeared to Mary Magdalene, and he appeared to two believers on the road to Emmaus. The two men did not recognize him until he prayed and blessed the food for dinner. As the two men shared the news of his appearance with the disciples, Jesus appeared and showed them all that he was alive. Jesus appeared to many others at different times. One time, he appeared to over 500 people. Jesus told his disciples to share the good news about God's love and his plan of salvation for everyone. So, boys and girls, our traditional Easter greeting is He is risen, and the prompt response is He is risen indeed. So if we were in school, I would have you practice that, but let's just practice it here, me and you. If I say He is risen, then you would reply and say, He is risen indeed. Can you say that? He is risen indeed. Good work. Okay, guys. So let me ask you, why did Mary Magdalene and the other women go to the tomb on Sunday morning? They wanted to finish wrapping Jesus's body, right? Good. And what did the angel say to the women after they noticed that the stone had been rolled away? The angel asked why the women were looking for a living person in a tomb, because tombs are for dead people. Right on. Okay, guys, get out your Bible page and let's go ahead and get that done. Here we are, friends. Let's go ahead and get started on our paper. So it says circle the number of each sentence that is true. So I'm going to read them to you. We're going to circle the sentences that are true, and then we'll finish the bottom of the page together. Are you ready? Let's do this together. Okay, so we're going to read number 1. The disciples were sad that Jesus had died. Is that true? Shout it out. Yes. Okay, then what about Mary Magdalene went to the tomb alone? That's not true. The stone at the tomb was rolled back. Jackson. Right. Good job. The angel said, He is not here. He is risen. Kylie. That's true. Good. Guys, show me thumbs up if it's true. And if it's not true, then don't do anything. Okay? Here we go. The women ran to tell the disciples. That's true. Peter ran to the tomb. Very good. Peter saw the grave clothes, but not Jesus. Very good. Make sure you show me those thumbs up if it's true. Mary Magdalene met the gardener. Nope, they didn't talk about a gardener. She met a man in the garden, and he was Jesus, but she did not meet the gardener. Okay. 2 followers of Jesus talked to Emmaus. Or walked to Emmaus. Sorry, friends. And then at supper, the followers saw that Jesus was alive. And over 500 people saw Jesus with their own eyes. Mila. Very good. All right, friends. Find and color only the letters that followed each true sentence above. Boys and girls, I know you can do this part without me. Have a blessed day and happy Easter. Bye.